So talk to me a bit more about that 100 days. How can someone break that down into something that they can understand and action?
It's a great question. And the first thing to say is that the first 10 days actually happens before you arrive. So if we just look at those first 10 days, well before you arrive, you should be asking yourself, who are my people? What do they do? How do they feel about their current role, where their successes are, maybe where their blind spots are? And it's all about listening at this stage. Truly listen to who they are, where they are, and how they feel about the journey so far. The second thing to focus on in those first 10 days is actually, what are the cultural norms? Ask questions. How do we do things around here, and why? What difference does it make to show up in a particular way? And finally, do your homework on the business. Where's the organization on its journey? What's the context they're currently working in? And we all know the big business plan, but what are the things that they're really proud of right now? What are they celebrating? What are they commiserating? And where perhaps are they a bit stuck? So your first 10 days is the context for the next 90 days. So for those 30 days, we're just going to share a couple of really quick principles for you. And remember, this plan is not just for you, it's for your people too, because they're going to be wondering who you are, what you're going to do, what are you going to keep, what are you going to change. So the first principle is this: do as you say you will do. Take every opportunity early on to follow through. Walk the talk, talk the walk. It's a really good motto we have, saying, you said, we did. So if somebody raises something with you, tell them that you've heard it, respond to it, do something practical that makes a difference, so at least they know that you're authentic. If you're going to focus on honesty and trust, then be honest and trustworthy. The second principle is this: have good discovery conversations with people. Talk to them about purpose, productivity, and the people that they work with. Listen really, really well. Create a clear list of what's working well for them and what's not working quite so well. And just avoid the temptation to decide too soon. Remember, it's diagnosis in the first 30 days, then decisions. And if you do that in your first 30 days, you'll be well on your way to making a lasting impact on your team. So for days 30 to 60, the next 30 days, it's really important that you decide your priorities. Now, we all know that realistically, some of those priorities will be given to you by the organization and the person that's hired you, but some of those priorities could come from you, and they should come from you. Don't be afraid to follow your instincts and call it. This is one of the great things about new hires on teams. They bring fresh perspective and fresh eyes. So don't be afraid to lean in on that and call it as you see it. Create conversations with stakeholders. Sense check what you're saying. Remember that we all have tendencies. Sometimes we see things really, really well. Sometimes we're a little bit blind to them. So create conversations with stakeholders to triangulate your priorities. And finally, once you've decided what those priorities are, tell people what you're thinking. Say to your team, this is what you've told me. This is what I see are the challenges and the opportunities. This is what I think we could be focusing on. What do you think? Your team will love it. It shows you're listening, but also it's going to save you a lot of effort by making sure that you have actually picked the right priorities and the right goals for the next 30 days. So let's talk about those last 30 days, days 60 to 90. Now's the time to deliver the dream. Now is the time to start making a real difference in whatever you said you would do, in a way that people can experience. This is a great time to really consolidate all the work you've done on building trust, take people with you and work them to solve the problems and deliver solutions. But of course, nobody gets employed just for 90 days. What about the next 6 months, the next 12 months? So the second stage of your final 30 days is to explore next level possibilities. All of these things will start to come into focus, and you can start to think about where we go next. What does the next level of performance look like? What does the next level of grip look like? Don't wait too long to diagnose those opportunities from your conversations. And the momentum you build in the first 100 days will carry you through well beyond that if you've got a simple, repeatable, sustainable plan.